This is the Week in Review.
Welcome everybody to the final week of Season 7. Standings right now are pretty close at the top, with Tyler Wyatt and myself tied at 52, Tyler Bradley 45, Don at 40, and Raul 35, Ruben 34. So it's pretty close. There's a lot of ranked games left to play. I know myself and Tyler only have one left each, so we're pretty much locked in here. Any further points will have to be gained through achievements. But some notable mentions, there are quite a few players who have quite a lot left and could really move up this really quickly in this final week. Duncan has 5 left, Joe has 5 left, Nick has 7 left. So these are some very good players that could just win a whole bunch and leap up the leaderboard. I don't have a whole lot of. A lot of people got some great achievements this week. I saw that Chip did finally get the lightsaber throw achievement that I've been hounding every week that somebody should try and get. Nobody got the Oppo Rancis running achievement yet, though Tyler did threaten me with that, so that could change soon. Nobody else except Tyler Wyatt has gotten a full aspect with all of the leaders of one aspect yet. The final event will be at 10:30 Saturday, August 16th, and it should be fun. Everybody's invited. We're not doing the whole you have to make the top 8 to make it in. Where everybody's invited, so it's open play. If you're at the top or at the bottom, you have an equal chance to be crowned the champion. As far as local news, not a whole lot. We did have a draft Monday. Nobody pulled a showcase, and notably, nobody really pulled rares of the same kind. So we're thinking maybe it's not mappable, which is great. We definitely don't want to see that. As far as SWU news, didn't really have a whole lot going on. It is PQ season, so that's pretty exciting. Upcoming competitive league is next season, so you can use that to practice and get ready for PQs. Force throw still legal. Some think it should go. Myself, I think it's fine. I did have one feature match that I recorded at the beginning of the season between Ruben and Chip, and I would like to play that now to close out my final week in review. This has been fun, guys. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next season. Bye. Alright, this was a match that we recorded the first week of this league. It's between Chip and Ruben. Ruben is on Kira Datavault, and Chip is on Quinlan Red, but with the Force base. Two very good players. Ruben is very, very familiar with the green Vigilance control shell, and Chip has been playing Quinlan very successfully since it came out. So this should be a very, very good match. I've actually not seen this yet. This was sent to me, and I was told this is a very good match. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see how this goes. So very typical open. Chip not having Tarkin down is pretty relevant here, because normally he would play the 2-drop and then immediately kill the first turn play. Not being able to do that may come into play. He is destroying all of the Atagalias right now. I imagine that's going away. And I'm very curious to see how this matchup goes. Normally, the Kira matchup is a nightmare for Quinlan, just because it can go so much bigger. Normally, if Kira can drop an Avenger or a Devastator or a Reinforcement Walker, Quinlan has a hard time dealing with it. They kind of just have to race it and kill you before you can play those big stuff. So, curious to see if Ruben is able to keep the board clean enough without dying. Pike Sentinel going to do a great job here of stepping in front of a bus. And Chip is deciding which bus. Okay, it's going to be the Gorilla Soldier. Makes sense. This Bamboozle's pretty sweet. I like that. I like that in the main. Probably pretty relevant against Kylo and a lot of these upgrade heavy decks that are going around. On this 4-drop play, I'm curious to see how he plays it. There's a number of different ways he could do it. He could go an aggressive route with Millennium Falcon, and then still have Force Throw up. Okay, he's gonna that makes sense. Go ahead and resource the Bamboozle. I don't think it's gonna be relevant here. Ruben gonna do a little lane dodging, setting up his next couple of draws. And it's very important to note that, Ogdo Bogdo, that will be a problem. That will be a big problem for Chip. I was going to say, it's important to note that Ruben is down to 2 cards in hand, and Chip does have an Ahsoka in hand, so he may be thinking about just slamming Ahsoka and just trying to get Ruben down another card. Oh, going to flip Kira. Makes sense. He's going extremely aggressive. And Chip's just not going to have any part in that. He's just going to discard his own Ahsoka, just kill Kira outright for 1 resource. Makes a lot of sense. Do 1 damage to the Ogdo, and he's just going to clean up the board. Okay. So far, this feels pretty even. Ruben's still at a reasonable life total at 9. He's not really in any real danger. The board is getting a little full, but nothing an overwhelming barrage here couldn't just clean up. So I'm a Kira player, so I'm automatically gonna assume that Ruben is in the better spot here. But I don't think Chip's in a bad spot. He's got 3 units in play. So Chip's gonna pay the price, and there it is. There's the overwhelming barrage, the nightmare of Chip and his Quinlan deck. He loves to see that card, let me tell you. Just immediately clearing the entire board with a giant monster that he pretty much has no answers to. Just gonna smash in for 7. Now it is important to note, it is the Quinlan flip turn, so he's probably going to delay that. He's going to delay that until after Ogdo swings, because he doesn't want to just lose Quinlan immediately to the Ogdo. Though they would trade now. And Ruben going to go ahead and immediately shield it. That will mean that the Ogdo will die at the end of turn, because the overwhelming barrage buff will go away. But it will mean that Ruben can swing for, he's almost guaranteed now to swing for 7. Yeah, he's just going straight to base. I love that. Quinlan coming out. Quinlan going to get in for... And, now Ruben is over halfway there. With some pretty scary stuff with that draw. That was a good draw from Chip. Plo Koon now swings for 6. He's got Coordinate online. He's got a Smuggler, Hotshot Blaster in the Smuggle. He's got a Cassian in the Smuggle. And there's Vader. Vader is like the last thing I'm sure Chip wants to see here. Vader completely repopulates Ruben's side of the board. It eliminates probably the Gorilla Soldier. It probably finds a Pike Sentinel or something to throw up as a blocker. Okay, not the blocker I'm sure he was looking for. And now he's got some options. He could Hotshot Blaster Smuggle on the Quinlan and just get in for 5, and I think that's what he's looking to do now. He could kill Vader, but I don't even think that's his concern. I think he's just got to push the damage here. So he's opting to he's thinking about it. Yes. All right. He is going to hot shot. And he's going to actually get rid of the Vader. Okay. It's interesting. He does have enough to play the Sabine, so he is developing his board still, and now he does have the ambush 6 damage Plo Koon, which is awesome. I don't know if you even need to resource at this point. You kind of got a great hand here. Yep, he decides not to. The devastating gunship. That is devastating. Though it is answered by a Millennium Falcon in hand, he can just get in for 3 here. He could spark and try and get something else nasty out of Ruben's hand. A lot of options here, and this is where being familiar with the deck makes it such a big difference, because I mean, Chip has played this deck more times than anyone probably, and he knows the lines here. So be very interesting to see how he plays this. Alright, he's just going to go for damage. This looks like a straight race from here. It's going to be close. That 33 hit points, that 5 hit point difference right at the start of the game is really gonna matter here in a minute. Timely. Oh, brutal. Yeah, any hope we had for Chip here, I think the door just got slammed on it, because that's pretty much gonna just do it. Vader can come down, he can eliminate one of the units, he can ambush the other, and just 2 for 1. And pretty much down to nothing. Ahsoka-ing the last card out of the hand is kind of like a nice, middle finger on his way out. Oh, it was an Avenger. It's nice. Yeah, even with Ruben down to 24, it's hard to imagine Chip being able to climb back from this. Will of the Force is interesting. I imagine you may be tempted to resource maybe like the Spark of Hope, or Spark of Rebellion, just because we are kind of getting down to the point where everybody's just doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. I don't know if you need to spend 2 resources to not develop your board. Gonna opt to smuggle the Millennium Falcon, which is fair because you can smuggle it out later if there is a later. Will of the Force. Okay, so we're seeing our first Force card. And he is going to use the Force to make him discard at random, which he does discard the Vader, so it was a 4 resource eliminate a Vader. Not bad. Basically Shatterpoint. And he can attack with the Ahsoka to get the Force back. Though he is dead very soon. So I think right now he's just figuring out if he is in check yet or not, and I think he's about to be. Now he is, because he basically has to claim from this point. Okay, maybe he's just kind of already assumed that he lost. He's just going to see what was in his hand. I was going to say you have to claim there because he has lethal on his side with the 5 power devastating gunship. He just kills him on, just claims and kills. So Ruben sees that and claims initiative. And that'll be game number 1. Sideboard. I have to imagine the Champs and Doulas come in, and the Change of Heart seems pretty good. Anything that's going really, really big, you can potentially grab it for a turn. Tip the Scale seems pretty decent. Honestly, any of these cards really seem pretty good. Tech doesn't seem too bad. I don't reckon Ruben's really going to be milling you out. And I don't see maybe Tech being that useful, but I mean, I've never played Quinlan, so I don't know. The one Luke Skywalker here is kind of interesting. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of unique units in this deck, so I can see him being triggered very often. And this opening hand does not seem terrible. It doesn't have a way of capitalizing on this force throw, I think would be the only thing that I don't like about it. But other than that, I mean, he's got a turn 2 play. He's got a really good turn 2 play, and he's got a great turn 3 play. So yeah, I'm gonna opt to resource the force throw as it's kind of mediocre. Oh, he decides to resource the Han. Gotcha. Sabine gonna ping Dr. Pepper and pass. Drew another Millennium Falcon and another force throw. Man, those force throws are stacking up. But if he can get a force unit down, I think those force throwers can do some serious work later. I'm curious to see whether or not he attacks the Sabine Wren into base or Dr. Will. Doesn't matter. It has to go at the Bike Sentinel, but he doesn't lose it, so that's good. So we can deal with the Sentinel. He can get down on Millennium Falcon, get in for 3. And he's got 2 great threats out. He's kind of doing the thing, you know? Gonna opt to resource the redundant Sabine Wren. And not pay the 1. Okay. Probably he's looking to get this Ahsoka down ASAP so he can start cashing in these force throws, I imagine. That's the thought process there. Getting Ahsoka down, and oh yeah, now you know the path is clear. Maybe you even snag a unit here and you can get Dr. Pepper tapped down. That would be pretty good. Does not happen, but he gets to claim, and he gets to force throw till his heart's content here. Venestra and Plo are the draws. I think Venestra is such a good pickup for this deck. It's essentially another 3-power unit that you can sneak some damage in. Kind of like how Cassian does from the Smuggle. Looks like he's deciding he's going to just go ahead and cut off Ruben's card draw, which I think is fair. Definitely going to limit Ruben's options, though he does have 5 cards in hand with only 1 unit on the board. He has pretty much exactly where he's looking to be. He opts to decide to play the Devastating Gunship with no value, but probably just looking to avoid getting Kira Plo Kooned, I imagine. Ruben looking to discard a card, not knowing that there is another one right behind it. Oh, 7. That's so unfortunate. I wish we could see Ruben's hand. I'd love to know what he had as far as options. I'm imagining he probably just had a lot of really big stuff in hand, and he's just looking to start laying bombs down soon. That's what I assume is going on. It's Venestra here, going to come down, going to immediately be able to untap and then generate the force again, getting 3 damage in. That card is so good. And this is also the Quinlan flip turn, so he's guaranteed to get 6 damage in here. Deciding whether or not he wants to flip Kira, he decides to flip Kira. Very interesting. Well, that's going to go badly for him, because now he can get force throned. I'm assuming because he saw that Vader come down, or that Devastating Gunship get discarded. I'm assuming, okay, he's not even going to take the risk. He's just going to kill Kira. Makes sense. I'm totally on board with that. I'm more of like a risk taker. I probably would have force thrown my opponent just because they discarded a Vader, so maybe they don't have anything small. But he just says, I'm not even going to play that game. I'm just gonna make sure she's dead. And fair enough. Probably the right play. Checking his Smuggle, seeing what options he has. Palps return. Oh, man. See, this is a pretty heads-up play from Ruben there. He purposely discarded the Vader. He may have even had something small in hand that he could have discarded to the Devastating Gunship, but he did the Vader on purpose so that he could get a discount to get Vader out one turn earlier. Really, really good play versus Quinlan. Quinlan's going to be able to come down. Plo Koon's going to be able to come down and ping the fighter and kill the Vader. So far, I really like Chip's position here. I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He is a little behind. Maybe this Kira unit that he just drew may be able to come down and get rid of a big threat. We'll see. All depends on what Ruben plays here, I think. Because if Ruben doesn't play anything, if he just swings with his TIE Fighter, I think Chip just swings 6 to the base. I can race that. Okay, he's gonna play the Vader again. Out of the discard with a second Palps return. Just good old swoo there. Just good swoo. Oh man, that's a good draw for Ruben there. Now he can snipe one unit and ambush the other. So basically leaving Chip down to just a Quinlan left in play. I imagine that, I was going to say he probably snipes that unit, ambushes the other to take but it really doesn't matter either way. Yeah, I think Chip's in a little bit of trouble here. Facing down a second Vader. If he plays the Millennium Falcon, he still has to contend with the Sentinel in space, so it's not 3 damage. Okay, does get to ping though. Ruben just going to go ahead and get the 3 damage in. Why not? Go ahead and get that in. And Chip will play play Kira, I guess. He does have the option of smuggling L3 out, but I think just playing Kira is better. Just see what's in his hand, see what you're dealing with. He does get another ping trigger. Ooh, okay, so he does have the Overwhelming Barrage, so you've got to get Vader off the table, which may mean that he maybe should have pinged. I don't think he could have pinged the Vader. That is rough. That is rough to see. I think you named the Overwhelming Barrage, though. I don't think there's any way you name the other two. Yeah, Chip opting to name his favorite card, Overwhelming Barrage. And I like Chip's position prior to that first Palps return. I think he was in a great spot, and then when that first Vader and then the second Vader, I think that's when things started looking a little dicey. I mean, he's not out of it yet. Ruben's at 18. He's got 2 units in play. He's got a Millennium Falcon in hand that can keep swooping in and getting 3 here and there. Ruben does have that Relentless in hand, but Relentless really isn't. He's just gonna play the Overwhelming Mirage for full cost. Yeah. Kira notably doesn't make you not be able to cast it. You can still cast it, it's just really expensive. But he's going to use the Bamboozle to tap Vader down. Going to get 3 damage in. He does have Hotshot Blaster. Okay, going to opt to instead Millennium Falcon. I think that's probably the better choice. Just guarantee the damage now, and then later you have the option to just finish it out with a Hotshot Blaster. I like that play a lot. Okay, he went back. He went back and did it. That's fine. Either way, I think it's great. Gonna get the Millennium Falcon down. Okay, I see what he realized that he could play the Millennium Falcon and he could do both. So he decided he would do that. Guerrilla Soldiers is a great pickup here because Vader can't take all three of the indirect. So you know you're going to hit the base a little bit, which will untap. Okay, well, now you're going to hit it for 5. How about them apples? Yeah, going to get him for... Oh, this is so good. Ruben's got to have something here. Ruben's got to have something here to answer this. This is a very good game. I'm loving this. Down to 4 hit points. He's got 2. He's staring down 2. So basically he's at 2. If he can't deal with the Guerrilla Soldiers. And then Chip's got the Millennium Falcon in hand, so he can finish it off. And Ruben knows he has the Millennium Falcon in hand. He knows he's not going to resource that. Okay, he does have the answer to... He does have an answer to the 2 damage. Chip's going to go ahead and get this down, I think, because he realized that Ruben's going to be playing these instants. These one pings are really going to matter. So going to get that Millennium Falcon in. Now Ruben's dead to any event that he plays. So he's basically in a corner. He has to play only events, or only units now. Yep. Oh, so well played. Love these kind of games. And he's going to play the event and take the 1 damage. Right? Oh, because Ruben's the active player, he gets to decide which triggers go off when. So maybe he took the 1 damage after the vigilance resolves. I assume that's the way that works. I'm no judge. But very, very good game. Gonna look at his hand. Gonna see a 3rd Palps return. My God. I gotta say, if it were me, I think I would have taken the Palps return just because I don't think I could beat another Vader. But doesn't matter. Chip sees the win. He gets in for the last 3, and we're on to game 3. Well played. That was awesome. Chip remembering that the Petronaki always unsideboards you for game 3 for some reason. So he's going to go ahead and sideboard again. I think Cham is such a... I'm surprised he doesn't play the full 2 Cham into this matchup because Kira loves to ramp. Kira's main best opening is the turn 2 resupply or turn 2 super laser technician. That's like our dream turn 2 play. So I'm surprised by only having 1 Cham in. This deck looks like a lot of fun. I would be tempted to play another Luke Skywalker just because he's a fun card. But I mean, it might not be that good. I don't know. I've never played one. I don't think Bamboozle's that good in this matchup. He could be afraid of Traitorous, I guess. I know there's a lot of Kira players that love Traitorous. I'm back and forth on it, but all right, game 3. We're looking at a pretty hand. Yeah, I've definitely got to mulligan that. This hand, not much better. I mean, we do have a turn 1 play in L3, or we can Spark of Rebellion, which Spark of Rebellion on turn 1 is awful. I cannot stress that enough. You need to be adding to the boards. Spark of Rebellion, in my opinion, is something you play when you're afraid your opponent's about to drop a bomb and you want to try and get it out of their hand before they can play it. So I'm not a big fan of sparking on turn 1. Deciding what to... Okay, he decides to throw Will of the Force down. I agree with that. Gonna go ahead and ping Dr. Pepper a little bit. Cham. Cham's going to be pretty good. Oh, no. Resourced it. It's interesting. Alright, gonna spark. Gonna look at his opponent's hand, and it's a whole bunch of stuff you don't want to see. Overwhelming Barrage, fantastic. Devastating Gunship, annoying. Avenger, I can't answer it. Vader, great value. I mean, this is why I'm a villain player myself, because I just never want to be in that situation where I look at my opponent's hand and I just see all that and I go, oh, that's rough. Chip's not drawing the best. He's still got these bamboozles in here, which I don't like. I think even if my opponent traitorous is something, I think I just fight through it. I don't like bamboozle in this matchup, to be honest. Ruben gonna cash that Dr. Pepper in for a 6th card, so he is full gripping, and not under a lot of pressure going into turn 4 or turn 3. I imagine Chip's gonna just slam Gorilla Soldier here just to get the 5. He could Ahsoka to try and get Force Throw online. Both seem pretty reasonable. Whatever he's doing, he's got to have a plan for Kira next turn, because Kira will definitely shake things up next turn. Change of Heart. I mean, it's a card. I'm a fan of Change of Heart, but not at this stage. I want Change of Heart when I'm ahead. I want to be able to take something for a turn and finish off with it. I don't want to see it when I'm behind, because really all it does is just stall out your loss. I feel like you're going to take something that they have, you're going to hit them with it, and then you're going to lose to it next turn. So I'm not happy to see it this early. I'd rather see it later. So I think I would have resourced it. Alright, he's waiting to see if Kira's gonna flip. I assume Kira... Okay, he's just gonna pass. That's smart. He's gonna pass rather than just flip Kira and have her immediately killed. He's just gonna pass and see what you do. He doesn't have to do anything. That's the beauty of playing the control deck, is that you don't really have to do anything unless you're made to. If you're not made to do anything, you don't have to. And that's where a lot of people play Kira wrong, is they feel like, oh, it's my turn, it's my action, I feel like I have to do something. If your opponent has a 2/3 Gorilla Soldier and you're at 9 life and you're about to be at 6 resources, you don't have to do anything. Like, wait for them to flip their Quinlan, or wait for them to play into the board. You don't have to do anything. Now that he's flipped a Quinlan, now Ruben can decide, do I flip Kira, do I not? Now, personally, this is a trap. I would never flip Kira into a open 5 resources and a Quinlan that just flipped. If you're not going to flip her before, you don't... Yeah, there you go. Pass. If you're not going to flip her before, you don't flip her up and flip them after. Because you're just begging to get Plo Kooned. Chip going to go ahead and just take his 3 damage here, I assume. And I assume, yes, that Ruben will continue his passing, because he's waiting to see Chip not have any resources. And Chip's going to claim. Very interesting. Not developing your board there, that's rough. That's rough. I assume that he just didn't want to play something and then have Kira flip and immediately kill it, and I can understand that. If it were me, I think I would have played Ahsoka out, and then when Kira flipped, you have Force Throw. I think that would have been my way, but I'm not a Quinlan player, so I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I could be wrong. 6 resources up, you have Change of Heart up, but like I said earlier, your opponent's at 12. I don't want to Change of Heart to do 3 damage and just take that 3 damage next turn. It's not gonna feel great. Getting in for 2. Sounds good. Still holding on to this bamboozle. but he does have some great stuff in the smuggle. He just smuggled a Cassian. Would like to see a hot shot blaster. Hopefully he sees one of those soon. Ruben basically soft passing there, using an action to just basically say, nah, you do something else. And this game of chicken can go on as long as Ruben wants, because ultimately he's eventually going to find a way to win. He's just waiting for you to play something and get those resources down. So in this way, Kira's actually Kira's not even out, and she's controlling the board. It's kind of interesting. Chip here could be deciding maybe to possibly bamboozle the devastating gunship. This is rough because now Kira next turn can shield it, and now it's a 7. Well, or that too. Whoa, that's rough. I was gonna say now next turn Kira can shield it again, and it's even more powerful with the shield. And Ruben's not really in a hurry to kill Chip here. He's eventually going to win. It's just a matter of when. Not any real great options that I'm seeing here. He can't smuggle Cassian. He can play L3, but that's kind of weak. He can play Ahsoka, but now you don't have force throw up, so Kira can now flip and just kill Ahsoka and have 7 power, which is not good. He opts to just play out the Ahsoka rather than the other option is just a claim, and then you have a 2/3 in play. That's not good. So there's really no good options that I'm seeing here. Just very bad draws. I feel like he saw a lot of his stuff that he would like to see later, too early. I think he held on to the bamboozle for a while. Yep, there's Kira. And if I'm the Kira player here, I'm just going to kill Ahsoka. I'm going to keep you off of your force synergy stuff. And I'm going to have a 7 power unit, and your guerrilla soldiers can trade with me. I don't care. If Kira can kill 2 units, he's just going to go straight to base. Well, that's fair enough. Me personally, if Kira can kill 2 units, I don't care. I'm happy with that. Like, that's a straight 2-for-1 that I spent no resources on. He goes back. Maybe he heard me through he heard me through the internet. So he does opt to kill Ahsoka, which I believe is the right play. I think that's the more optimal play. You're going to win eventually. You're not in any hurry. You're only at 14 life, and you're playing Tadavolt. Just go ahead and kill the Ahsoka and make them deal with you. If you can make the Quinlan player have to deal with you, then you're winning. If they're having to play the control game, that's great for you because you play better. Gonna go ahead and get in for 6. 7 resources. Chip did not have a good draw there with Adagalea and L3 being the draw. That is awful. He's gonna play the L3 first, I think, just kind of test the waters. Then he'll probably follow it up with Adagalea, and then he's got Force Throw back online. And there's the Force Palpatine's return into Vader again. Not great. Not great. I'm not loving this from the Quinlan perspective. Death Trooper gonna ping the shield. Vader gonna ambush the L3, and we're back to square one. We can play Adagalea and Force Throw, which is cool. Or we can claim. Claiming feels bad though, because at least with the other play you're getting something off the board. I'm not wild. I imagine Chip's been in this position long enough where I think he probably knows what's up, and is just gonna make Ruben play it out. Gonna steal the Vader, which I imagine Ruben is probably fine with. Yeah, just going to go ahead and get in for 3. Kind of interested to know he didn't play, he didn't swing with the Devastating Gunship, which is, I mean, it's just a nitpick. That's what I would have done, but I mean, I'm splitting hairs here. Gonna Force Throw using Vader as the Force unit. Makes sense. And Kira doesn't really play a lot of 1-drops. I mean, we play Timelies. There's not a lot of 1-drops that we have, so most of the time when you Force Throw us, you're going to at least get 2 damage. Yeah, this here he gets 4, so he's able to kill the Devastating Gunship. Ruben missed out on 3 damage there, but like I said, I'm splitting hairs. Ultimately, I really think Ruben's pretty much 95% to win this at this point. He's got 8 resources. The Quinlan side has no board. This is pretty much over. But that is just a bad matchup for Quinlan. It always has been. I've heard some people say it's not. I really do think it is. They just don't have a good answer to anything big that you drop down. Like if you drop a Vader, they have to kill it with damage, or a Force Throw. Or if you throw an Avenger down, they have to kill it with damage, or they have to kill it with a Force Throw, or they can waylay it. Like there's no real good answer. There's no real good removal. So Surprise Strike, not the card you want to see when your board is empty and your opponent has a Relentless out. Gonna smuggle out the L3, take 8. Yeah, it's rough times. I do want to ask him about this Force base. So we see Will of the Force as a way of using the Force. We have the one Luke, and I'm trying to remember another payoff for the red. I gotta imagine Mace Windu and Ki-Adi-Mundi are probably in the deck too. I just didn't see them. But those are so good. It's hard to imagine that they wouldn't be in there somewhere. Pillage. I said when your opponent's got 5 cards and a Relentless on the board, it's kind of a slap. But he can get the Ahsoka down. He can tap down the Relentless. He's still going to take 9, which puts him at 27. 1 away from death. Ruben's just going to deposit a event, so he doesn't have to tap his guy, and that would be the GG's. He has no answer for the Relentless in space. Man, great game, guys. Great game. Very well played by both. Very, very enjoyable to watch. It's always nice when you can see 2 players that are really, really good at their archetype, that they're playing against each other. It's always a really good time. Thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.